digestive system to the test. I know I do, and this is, I think I consume more Digestive because I don't take it all the time. I take it when I have really large meals, or when I go to France with Muriel to visit her family, and you go to France, you eat really large meals. And so I know when I'm challenging my digestive system, and this product just makes a remarkable difference. And even for me, if I'm having a huge dinner with a lot of protein, say the holidays, turkey and stuff like that, I take a couple of capsules of this, and I end up sleeping better because I'm digesting that food more effectively.
And I was going to ask you a quick question there, Andrew, but I know we're running out of time, doggone it. But it was to do with, from the research that you've done and the things that you've read, in today's day and age, the reason why so many of us suffer more with things like reflux, is that simply because our diet has evolved and changed and we're perhaps eating more of the wrong things? Well,
there's a multitude of factors. We're more overweight, and as a population gets more overweight, the incidence of gastric esophageal reflux disease goes up dramatically. So overweight and obesity make a significant difference. The kinds of foods we consume, consuming more coffee increases GERD, spicy foods, fried foods, French fries, things like that. So the way we eat, the quantity of what we eat, because again, eat smaller meals more frequently reduces the risk. Lose weight reduces the risk. Less spicy food, less coffee, less alcohol. So there's a number of things we could do in terms of GERD. In terms of just challenging our digestive system, in terms of digestion, enzymes are the key, and all these other things we do tend to undermine how a healthy digestive system can go about functioning.
Well, one of the items that we really never get enough time on, but we're going to feature it for a couple of minutes, Breath Plus is here. Whether you are around people every day at work, whether you're somebody that's looking for just more confidence, this is a product that people swear by and won't ever live without.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few products that will be just handy over the holidays. Breath Plus is one of them. Our stomach is literally just about a foot away from our mouth. So we could have the best oral hygiene in the world, which I encourage everyone to do, because actually a healthy mouth is really even healthy for your heart, believe it or not. So it's great to have great oral hygiene, but that doesn't ensure great breath, because the contents of our stomach are going to be apparent to whomever we're speaking to. So if we've had coffee, alcohol, if we've had spicy foods, garlic, and this is a product, it's just parsley seed oil, peppermint oil. It's just those concentrated natural breath fresheners that Mother Nature created millions of years ago that we put in a small capsule, and it's remarkable. I've tested this product when I first introduced it, and I happen to love garlic, but eating cloves and cloves of garlic. And if you do that, the garlic is going to tend to repeat on you. Right. But you do that and you have a couple of, even if it's all cloves of garlic, have a couple of capsules of Breath Plus, the only thing you'll notice is peppermint. It's truly remarkable how this goes about and just acts as we know it does. It's a natural breath freshener, parsley seed oil, and peppermint oil.
It is an awesome product with stellar reviews, let me tell you, as well. I mean, people love it. They won't let us spend any more time because we're trying to race through as many other things as we can.
Because I'm gone until January, this is our last show of the year, I figured it'd just be a good chance to cover a lot of ground, talk about products that have never been on air or rarely ever are on television.
Talking of which, here's one, Andrew.
Bean and Veggie Gas Relief. It's a product that many people love. I think if we've ever spoken about it on TV, it's been for 5 minutes over the last 15 years. It's a product that was simply designed, enzyme-based. It digests the offending components in foods like beans, peas, cruciferous vegetables that for so many of us will cause uncomfortable gas or undesirable gas that others might find uncomfortable or unpleasant. So Bean and Veggie Gas Relief, it's an amazing product, and I remember the first time I tested this product, I've told this story when we talked about it probably 10, 15 years ago. My goddaughter, when she was very young, I helped out on her soccer team, and so before one of the practices, and I'd go out and play with them, before one of the practices, I had a couple of big bowls of black bean soup and a couple of big bowls of pea soup. And I figured if I didn't injure myself or someone else on the field, we knew this product actually did what the enzymes were supposed to do in the product. and it did. So fortunately, there's no graphic story. It just worked. Didn't even think about it, didn't even notice it, but it's a product that, it's the fructooligosaccharides in these foods that we struggle with and that cause us gas. If we break them down in our stomach in advance, then they're not going to ferment, they're not going to be causing the offending gas that we notice later. So a wonderful it's a fun product, a wonderful product, and this time of year when we start eating maybe a little bit far afield, we eat things we normally don't eat, it's nice to have around for those moments.
And Andrew, maybe as we walk and talk, we could just mention the dairy and lactose tolerance, because this is a product important to many, many people.
That's another product, and again, all three of these products, if you open the capsules, it's finer than baby powder because we want them to immediately go to work. And our dairy and lactose tolerance is designed to be a product for those of us who might be around the holidays, that maybe you can have a little dessert with a little dairy in it, and you don't want to turn it down, but you realize it might have consequences. So this is a product that's designed to actually digest the lactose, so you're not going to be having problems as it passes through you. So again, very simple, straightforward product. It's enzyme specifically designed to basically, if we look at beet and veggie gas relief and lactose, if we look at them as sort of ticking time bombs, these enzymes basically diffuse the time bomb. So that's an easy way of putting it.
That's a great way to put it. Diffuses the time bomb.
Yes.
You have a way with words, actually.
Sort of a new analogy I hadn't thought of before.
That's a new T-shirt.
Yes.
Diffuse the time bomb.
Yes.
We're going to move on to Fiber Mucil, which is a remarkable product. If you've tried fiber products in the past and they've not sat well with you and you've not enjoyed taking them, this is a fiber product that's going to change your feeling and your attitude because it works. Again, you talk about digestion. Fiber Mucil is to make your daily life easier, better, more predictable, and happier. All sizes available. Again, the price on this and the price of everything that we're featuring tonight will expire at midnight. So if there's any items that you didn't pick up from Andrew yesterday, this is his final show of 2017. Andrew, I'm going to follow up our intro to Fiber Mucil with a question. In terms of the vitamins that you are making here, is it on a particular schedule? Like on a Monday, it's Fiber Mucil Day, or Tuesday, it's... How do you do it?
There's actually, it's rigorously scheduled, but it's not necessarily that one day is a certain product. We constantly rotate through all our products. I alluded to this before, that we never want to have products that are even 6 months old, which by most company standards would be incredibly youthful product. So I'd rather never be selling anything or you receiving anything that's more than, say, at the oldest 60 days old, which in most retail situations, it probably doesn't even have a chance to get to a warehouse before it gets to a store with that kind of timing. So what we basically plan all our production on is sort of scheduled, running out of the product on a scheduled basis. So when we do a Today Special, those products, we haven't even begun to make all the products for our Today Specials that are only a few weeks away. That we literally make products as they are needed. We don't make products in advance. That's why we're never clearing out inventory or anything like that, ever.
Andrew, I believe we fixed our technical issues, and Kimberly in Georgia is joining us live. Kimberly, welcome to the Monday Night Show. Kimberly, you're on live with Andrew.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hey, Andrew. Would like to say I really enjoy your products. I'm kind of like Colleen. I have a whole pantry full of your products.
Thanks.
I will say that Digestive Shore that you were just talking about is remarkable. I would not be without it.
Thank you.
You can eat the biggest gut bomb there is, and that stuff will help you process it. Not that I encourage that. Anyway, what I wanted to ask you, since all of your products are based on science, there appears to be quite a bit of science supporting beets. I personally take a beet supplement, which unfortunately I cannot buy from you, and I would prefer to do so. So what are your thoughts, or do you have any plans on developing a beet supplement?
We've looked at it over the years, and sometimes a lot of the way that the science trickles down to consumers is not really science. And I haven't been convinced that the science was sufficient to really make a beet extract. Beets are certainly a healthy food to eat, and but I haven't seen any science that really warrants us making a standardized extract of beets. And of course, if we did that, it wouldn't just be dried beets. You really need to to standardize the beets so when you're taking a small pill, you know exactly what you're getting in terms of the beneficial compounds in beets. So beets have become highly popular. There have been all sorts of products that were highly popular that red raspberry ketones is one of them that have been highly popular that I chose not to make, even though I would have sold many bottles of them just because I didn't see sufficient science. But I promise you, I'll dig right back into the science. It's probably been a couple of years since I looked at it, but I'll dig back into the science, and if the science has changed and it warrants our making a product, we'll do that. But for us, it's never about seeking sales. It's really all about seeking the science and following the science. And the science on beets really didn't compel a decision to make a product. I apologize that we don't have one. If we made one, it would certainly be an ethical product, but the science just wasn't sufficiently strong for me to go about making one. So hopefully that answered the question, Kimberly.
If you had considered it. As I said, I currently take a beet supplement, and I feel a big difference. So I just was curious. I was hoping that you would be producing one in the future.
Well, what I promise you I will do is this is our facility. What I promise you I'll do, we will look at the research once again, look at the science, and if we do so, then you can bet we will, and if it warrants it, we will make a beet supplement. So, and if we do so, it will be unlike any product out of the market. It'll be the most ethical beet supplement out there. You won't be able to beat it.
That is it's a great suggestion.
Yes.
It's a great, maybe you've got something that you're wondering, well, would Andrew make this, or does he make this? Has he ever thought about making this? Call us on 1-866-376-8255. I'm sure you get inundated with a lot of requests.
We get inundated, and in fact, it's something I should often mention here, and I should do it during my shows, and I forget to, is that we have a fully staffed customer care center here. We're here to answer all your questions. If you have any issues, you have requests for products, and you could always call us whenever you want. We're here. The number, it's an easy number, 800-800, it's 800-800-FREE, F-R-E-E, 800-800-FREE, or so 800-800-3733. So you could always call us. We're here to answer your questions. If you have suggestions for products, just like Kimberly's suggestion of a beet product, you make that suggestion. That suggestion will go to me and our product development department, and we'll look into it. And if the science is there, we'll go to our research department as well. If the science is there, we make it. But again, unlike most companies, for a company that's been around for 38 years, we have a very small product line. Most companies have product lines that are 10 times more extensive than mine. But I like to focus on the important products, focus on the important science.
I think what it is, Andrew, as you very well know, it's just that peace of mind. It's that sense of we trust what you believe in, and we trust your research that you do. So I think a lot of us look to you for...
Well, I think trust is earned. I started my company 38 years ago. I've been on television now for almost 27 years. So trust is earned, and I always make sure that, as I've said before, we've made some products that weren't well reviewed. I make those products go away until we make a better product.
Right.
So my commitment is always to make the best product of its kind, and that's what I think. If you do that for enough years, you're lucky enough to acquire some trust, and I think that's what we've been able to do.
Well, with that in mind, on to another one that I've never ever been on television before with Andrew. Fruitful antioxidants. Andrew, this the clue's in the name, I suppose.
We'll do the fruitful antioxidants, and then we have our cruciferous vegetable extracts. Our fruitful antioxidants, as you can see here, it's a lot of companies do these fruity kitchen sink products, as they call them, and they're just a bunch of dried fruit in a capsule, right, or dried veggies. Ours is not dried fruit. Every single one of the fruits is a standardized extract, which, to give you an idea, a standardized extract, you could buy dried blueberries as a manufacturer for a few dollars a kilo. Our standardized extract of blueberry costs almost $1,000 a kilo.
Wow.
So there's a difference in orders of magnitude from the cost of these standardized extracts. We have acai berry, bilberry extract, black elder extract, the anthocyanins, great for night vision, cranberry extracts, relatively small levels of each of these, but it's 100% pure product. So the capsule is just and a wide variety, a comprehensive variety of fruit extracts. Apple extracts, blackberry, strawberry, resveratrol, raspberry, grapeseed, chokeberry, cherry, blueberry, pomegranate, grapeskin, cranberry, black elder, on up the list. So all standardized extracts. Do you have an idea of the power of an extract? This is a small capsule, obviously, and this is about, I just broke the capsule, I'll put the whole capsule in. This is about, I'd say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 or 3 liters of water, maybe more.
Sure.
And just one capsule, and you get an idea if we just stir it around. Just that one capsule.
Gosh.
After a while, that one capsule will get literally, it looks black, but it's actually just dark, dark purple. So that's almost a gallon of water there, and that gallon of water, one capsule. But that shows you the anthocyanins in these berries when you extract them. So if you just tried to put some dried fruit powder in there, it would maybe get a little bit pink. It wouldn't turn into that. So that's the power of extracts, where you standardized each ingredient for its most important protective compound. So what you have is you have standardized ingredients, and here it's more than a dozen different berries, each one of them with their own protective compounds, each one standardized, and that capsule is 100% active ingredients. We're in the desert in Nevada here, so that capsule doesn't have any lubricants, fillers, flowing agents. It is just filled with the beneficial ingredients you want. So that is a real standardized extract fruit salad product, not your typical products that are just some dried fruit that basically cost almost nothing. These are all very costly standardized extracts.
And Andrew, is this one a day?
I take one a day of this. I take one a day of the cruciferous extracts as well.
Okay.
I also, for me, it kind of serves to remind me to eat that way as well. So when you're looking at these products, it's important to note it's not enough for someone to say a custom blend of fruits or vegetables. You deserve to know the standardization of each and every one of them. And if you're not being told that, you can bet it's not good. Because if someone is investing in those like me, you kind of want to shout it from the rooftops. You want to tell everyone this is a standardized extract of bilberry, standardized to 25% anthocyanins, because that costs $500, $600, $700 a kilogram. A kilogram is only 2 pounds. So it's something that any company that's not disclosing it, it's probably not good news that they're not disclosing.
If you'd like to order yours, again, only a few moments
And look
here.
at how that one capsule.
That is amazing. From that teeny tiny capsule.
It's pretty wild.
It's unbelievable. So there it is. There's your chance to try it. And obviously, it is a new year coming up. And Andrew, we always kind of get that feeling, this year I'm going to be better. This year I'm going to make healthier choices. This would be a good choice.
No, and that's why I feel with both the fruitful antioxidant extracts and the cruciferous vegetable extracts, it's an opportunity to know that at least the protective compounds that are present in those foods, you're at least getting them on a daily basis. Even better if you supplement them with real food, eating those great things. Like Muriel, I used to hate Brussels sprouts. Muriel, and Brussels sprouts are a cruciferous vegetable. Muriel now makes the best Brussels sprouts. I forget which cookbook has her Brussels sprouts recipe.
I've seen it. It
might be in the Healthy Holiday Cookbook. But Brussels sprouts, if we're talking about a cruciferous vegetable extracts, those are among, many will say, the healthiest foods we could possibly eat. Many will say it's the rich purple, dark-colored berries. I actually think as healthy as those are, and by the way, there's no sugar, no calories in either of these products. So I might even opt for the cruciferous vegetables being the healthiest of all. And as you can see, this is the composition of our product. And it was a product that I wanted to make for decades, but I couldn't because there were no available sources. So we have our special broccoli sprout extract, a red cabbage extract that not only has glucosinolates in it, but it also is standardized for polyphenols and anthocyanins, the purple colors that you find in berries. Wow. Wasabi extract, standardized for the glucosinolates, Brussels sprout extract, kale extract, and each capsule has not less than 8,000 micrograms of glucosinolates, which is very, very high levels of glucosinolates. So again, most of us don't eat, we eat French fries, we eat all sorts of things. Most of us don't eat cruciferous vegetables on a daily basis. So this is a simple, straightforward way to get significant levels of glucosinolates. You'd have to eat a substantial amount of cruciferous vegetables to achieve those same levels.
Well, I'm sold, Andrew. That's one I'll take home today, cruciferous vegetables. Because a lot of us, I think, we're not eating enough of that, so that makes complete sense. Come on, let's go this way. Everybody who has been waiting and wanting a presentation of healthy hair, skin, and nails, because 'tis the season when we need to look our best, Andrew.
Yes, and it's what's nice about getting it now is you have a money-back guarantee until the end of January.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And this, our Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails will not be a Today Special until sometime in the second half of 2018, just so everyone knows. So if you were taking 2 capsules a day of the largest size, it's going to last you almost, I think, not quite, but it'll last almost to our Today Special in 2018. So it's an opportunity to make a difference in tissues that most of us think the only way we make that difference is on the outside of our body. But frankly, it's obvious that the only place we can make a difference is on the inside, because that's where we make them. On the outside, we're just compensating, we're covering up. But if you want to make a difference in the real quality and the nature and the structure of those tissues, it can only happen on the inside of your body. And the only way you can really do it is with a product like this. That's the ingredients in this product are specifically designed based upon dermatological research, and it's designed to really meet the recommendations of, say, a dermatologist or a doctor who's making recommendations to you in terms of supporting the growth of your hair, your skin, and your nails.
I mean, you talk about see a difference, feel a difference. You feel and see a difference with Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails. If your nails are brittle, if your hair split ends, if you're looking for just a better overall health from hair, skin, and nails, this delivers it. Now, Andrew's not the only game in town when it comes to this. There are a lot of companies that have jumped on this bandwagon. I have out here, yes, I have it right here. Hold on, bear with me. Here it is, 5,468 reviews. Think about that for a second. Most items on HSN have 20 reviews. This is 5,468. And out of those, listen to this, out of those 5,400 reviews, 4,200 of them are perfect 5 stars. Perfect 5 stars. So they're the ones that are raving about the effect that this has had. So if you're currently taking a Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nail product, I would encourage you to try Andrew's. Again, purity is the key term here. Nothing bad in there, no fillers, no additives. And Andrew, a true, for want of a better term, miracle worker.
Well, it's, that's what many will say in the reviews. It's not something that it's not a scientific expression I would use to describe the product, but it's, if you read the praise that's heaped on this product in the reviews, and I think this product has, does it have 5,000 reviews or some? It has some. It has approximately 5,000 reviews, and over 4,000 of those reviews I think are 5-star reviews, maybe. So it's a remarkably positively reviewed product, especially when you consider that I think when it comes to our hair, skin, and nails, we're hard to please, we're hard to satisfy. That whether it's going to be a shampoo or a conditioner or whatever different products we use, we tend to choose them and with great frequency and lose them with great frequency. This is a product, the loyalty to this product has just been remarkable. It's a product that when you look at the quality of the reviews in an area where most people are pretty cynical, skeptical, and frankly doubting the possibilities that this is going to deliver benefits. And I think that's probably why it's so well reviewed, because I don't think anyone expects that a product like this, a simple little capsule, easy to swallow, is going to make such a significant difference in the appearance of their hair, skin, and nails. They don't think anything can, and they doubt that this will until they get it home and try it.
I mean, as it says on the label, and as you'll see, the effects are quite amazing. I mean, truly, a lot of us, as we age, as we look to kind of maximize everything about ourselves internally, externally, when you've got great nails, when you've got great hair, you feel better. I mean, I'm losing my hair, Andrew, but
no, but that's genetics. I mean, we all have a genetic blueprint that we inherit, but regardless of whether we're losing our hair or not, and most people think that's an issue that's predominantly a male issue, it's also, as women get older, as things change hormonally, women's hair also begins to thin as well. And what this product delivers in that regard, it's not like a baldness treatment, but to the extent our hair is healthier, it does not break off prematurely. Right. It will stay there thicker and longer, and that is something you read constantly in the reviews about new hair growth. And it's not so much new hair growth as it is hair growth that's going to be stronger, so you actually will see it and it grows out. And the same thing, we hear this about nails, that there are reviews, someone's gone their entire lifetime and never grew out their nails, or for that matter, their hair. And we're talking about someone in their 60s or 70s or 80s and suddenly using this product. all of a sudden they're able to grow out their hair, they're able to grow out their nails. That's difficult work. Our body might do all that it does without complaining, but our hair, skin, and nails comprise something called the integumentary system. It's the largest system in our body. As big as the cardiovascular system is with our heart, and if you want to talk about a cardiopulmonary system, our heart, our lungs, our blood vessels, the integumentary system's bigger. As big as our nervous system is with our brain and all our peripheral nerves. The integumentary system, our hair, skin, and nails, bigger. And not only do we have to constantly maintain this system as we would have to maintain any system, our hair, skin, and nails never, ever, ever stops growing. So it's kind of that, imagine if we all remained an adolescent our entire lives. I certainly ate with wild abandon as an adolescent. I was eating my parents out of house and home. But that's basically what our hair, skin, and nails, it's the adolescent system in our body that never stops growing and just has this huge demand for raw materials. And the healthy hair, skin, and nails is specifically designed to kind of compensate for the fact that this really hungry system has serious, specific nutrient requirements. And that's why we get to make a difference. Because it's something that's constantly growing, you have an opportunity to make almost an immediate change. If it was growing very slowly or not at all, you'd almost never see a visible change. But because our hair, skin, and nails grow every moment of the day of our lives, it's a great opportunity to make a difference when you give your body what it needs.
And as Andrew mentioned, this is not only the last show of the entire year, the today's special that they'll do on this is in the second half of next year. So we have our special pricing ending tonight. So the next time you'll be able to get this on a great price will be a long time from now. So if you wanted to try it, when you order it from us, you also have our huge money-back guarantee, which is through the end of January 2018. So this is a last call to try this and to start feeling those wonderful benefits. Andrew, final words on healthy hair?
The most important thing is your experience. Certainly you could read the reviews of others at hsn.com. I encourage you to read them. If you want to read all the reviews, it might take a couple of weeks because there's about 5,000 of them. But the most important thing is your experience. And what's nice about today's December 3rd, you have until January 31st. Your experience, if you don't love it, you send it back. So you have, what does that end up being? That ends up being about 59 days. So you have almost 2 months to get to experience this product. And I think you'll be thrilled. It really follows the perfect blueprint in terms of the science to deliver you a visible, tangible benefit.
And as we head over this way, Andrew, it is kind of funny how the world has changed, because before the days of the internet, before the days where we could share our thoughts and our feelings and leave reviews, whether it's on vitamins or restaurants or hotels, this has changed everything now.
Yeah, there's the internet is one of the expression, the classic two-edged sword. On one hand, it's a wonderful, empowering tool for all of us to educate ourselves, to be informed. On the other hand, it sort of gave an equal platform to some of the most horrifying ideas and ideologies and thoughts. And so it's something that we really have to be a good critic. We have to be a good skeptic, cynic. And but the one thing nice about the internet here is with my products, it affords you an opportunity to evaluate the experience of others. I know Muriel and I, one of the things we always look at before we go to a new restaurant, we look at the reviews. Yeah. Before we go to a movie, we look at the reviews. Before we'll get a book, we look at the reviews. What's wonderful about hsn.com is the volume of experience you get to experience before you try a product. And again, with all of my products, many people have asked me, do I eliminate the bad reviews? Do we pull out the bad reviews? No, I just eliminate bad products.
Yes.
So I refuse to make a product that's badly reviewed. Some people keep selling it over and over. I take that personally if there's a bad review, and I go back to the drawing board until I can make a great product. That's why all of my products are in small, easy to swallow capsules. At one time I made some tablets. At one time I made some large capsules. I read the reviews. I stopped. So my only goal in making my products is making you as happy as possible. And the reviews give me immediate gratification in knowing whether I'm succeeding or not. And it's a pretty simple, my business plan is very simple. Basically, the science and you design my products. Then it's up to me to make them in a fashion that satisfies you and satisfies the science. And if I do that, then I get great reviews and you're happy with the product. And that's what we've done, obviously, with CoQ10. This is a product that it's now among the most popular supplement ingredients in the world. My first CoQ10 product was delivered in 1984. That's 33 years ago. No one else had CoQ10 back then. I don't think I had really competition with CoQ10 until sometime in the late 90s. So it's fascinating how the science reveals an opportunity in the beginning. No one was even getting this product from me because no one knew about it. And gradually, as people became more informed and educated, and I did my best to try to help that process, CoQ10 went on to become as popular as it deserved to be because it's the very foundation, at the very center and core of all of our energy production in every one of our cells.
So why did CoQ10, why has it become so much popular? Is it because people are seeking more energy? Is it because people are looking for just more kind of go-get-em attitude?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons that the science has demonstrated its absolute efficacy, that it's beneficial, that it actually works, that it makes a difference. Science has also demonstrated to us that some of the most popular drugs we take, including cholesterol-lowering statin drugs, one of the reasons why they're most common symptom, side effect, is fatigue, is because those statin drugs, they lower cholesterol very effectively. They lower CoQ10 equally effectively. So there's so many reasons in our modern society that stress adversely affects CoQ10 synthesis in our body. Stress also causes inherently and directly fatigue as well. So I think it's the nature of so many things and the fact that CoQ10, not only was it identified, I studied CoQ10, the first biochemistry class I took, you study CoQ10, because the minute you understand how energy production is going on in the cell, you understand the role that CoQ10 is playing in moving electrons. And believe it or not, all of us, no matter how complex our lives are, no matter how simple our lives are, no matter whether we're going out and breaking a world's record in the marathon or simply walking around the block or just breathing as we watch TV, all of the energy in every one of our cells that we experience is simply a result of electrons being moved. On a molecular level, electrons being moved, that difference in electrical potential is life. And CoQ10 is at the very center of the movement of those electrons that is the life that we all are privileged to experience. So it's pretty fascinating. We think about our lives and everything that's out there, but when you think about what's really going on inside each and every one of the trillions of cells, and if that wasn't happening, if CoQ10 wasn't moving those electrons, then I'm not here and none of us are here. It's pretty amazing.
The world's most sophisticated product, the best of its kind. I mean,
There's
that's what...
no better CoQ10 product in the world, and I could say that having made CoQ10 for longer than anyone else. And in terms of, again, small, soft, easy to swallow capsule, that bright yellow color, that's actually the color of CoQ10. Let's see, open a capsule here. So you could see the beautiful,
It's intense, isn't it?
bright yellow color. And that's, I've always said, if I wanted to color a product of mine, the first thing I reach for, I have blueberry if I want something blue or purple. I have the anthocyanins from blueberry if I want something bright yellow. I have CoQ10. I have turmeric. Why would we have to reach for artificial colors and things when Mother Nature provides us with all these wonderfully abundant natural tools?
So just to further that question, though, why do people do it? Is it because it's cheaper to do it that way?
Of course it is.
Right.
It's cheaper to do it that way. It's also easier to manage these synthetic chemicals. You need very small amounts, and they're extremely rich and vivid. But I've thought that artificial colors were absolutely unequivocally unhealthy and associated with consequences. Yet virtually every one of the leading multivitamins on the market and most pharmaceuticals are colored with artificial colors.
Gosh. It's scary.
Which if you think, okay, from a marketing standpoint, in order for my customers to use the product, if a pharmaceutical company might think that, they're going to take these drugs more reliably and get better results if they're a pretty color. Well, you can make pretty colors with natural tools. You don't need to add artificial colors, but I don't think that's within the kind of the mental thought processes of a pharmaceutical company. I just don't think so, unfortunately.
Andrew, you've kind of flipped just the thinking on its head with regards how you make product, why you make product.
Oh, the fact that we're additive free. When I started making additive free products back in 1979, 38 years ago, I assumed, because it was objectively a better product, it was pure, that there'd be dozens of companies doing it as well.
Right.
Here we are 38 years later. No one else even tries.
Wow.
It's just,
it's sad.
It's so easy to make products with additives, and it's so difficult to make them without, so no one really tries. And again, we all know that most of the products you see on store shelves aren't necessarily made by the company selling it. It's made by a contract manufacturer.
Well, with that in mind, that same logic applies to everything that we've shown tonight. In the final show of the entire year for Andrew, please feel good and feel secure in that every single product is the best it can possibly be, and it's all real, it's all authentic, it's all pure. Talking of purity, what about cinnamon?
Well, cinnamon is one of those products that, I love cinnamon spice,
yes.
and most of us love cinnamon spice, but this is the same concept. If you open the bottle, it smells like rich cinnamon, but our cinnamon is, and it smells very rich, because our cinnamon is a special concentrated extract that's specifically targeting compounds that are associated with benefits for our blood sugar, benefits for our insulin metabolism, our blood sugar metabolism. Again, obviously, given what's going on with our society, issues with managing our blood sugar and our insulin metabolism have been escalating. As our waistbands have been escalating, so have issues with the way we manage sugar, carbohydrate, insulin. So it's a product that's been in demand for a long time, but until the science and research on cinnamon bark extract really came out in abundance, I wasn't sufficiently convinced to make a product. We talked about our beet extract product earlier. And once the science had validated the benefits of cinnamon extract, then we set out upon finding the best cinnamon bark extracts possible to put in our product to deliver the benefits. And if you look at the reviews on this product, they are pretty much perfect. I think we've got, I'm sure, just a couple of hundred reviews. I'm not sure how many. There's more than that. There's 610 reviews, of which 558 are 5 or 4 stars. So only 40 of those 610 reviews approximately are 1, 2, or 3 stars. So again, that's a product that's well over 90% positively reviewed, and it's a product that if you read the reviews, you'll likely see something that might be meaningful to you. But for me, I'm someone who, my fasting blood sugar, good numbers, my A1C, something we should all know what our A1C is, because that's, our fasting blood sugar is a snapshot, instantaneous look at what our blood sugar is at the moment someone took that blood. Our A1C gives greater insight into sort of a couple of months of what our blood sugar management has been. So for me, both of those numbers improved with my taking a capsule of cinnamon bark extract daily. And it's just something that supports healthy blood sugar metabolism and healthy blood insulin metabolism.
And in fact, they just told me to look for this question, and it was Joan who asked,
right,
can you tell me if there are vitamins that help lower blood sugar naturally?
Well, that's something, and what we try to talk about is not necessarily that it lowers blood sugar. The key is just managing our blood sugar, managing our sugar intake in a way more efficiently. And that involves insulin, that involves glucagon. It's a complex process in our body. But to the extent that we do many things, we try to maybe manage our diet, manage our weight. We might be on certain medications that our doctor recommended. Cinnamon bark extract, if anyone is going to ask me for a natural tool that's consistent with all those other activities, not even a close call. It's cinnamon bark extract, and that's something that the reviews bear out. It's interesting. In a second, we'll talk about another product that recently has been validated in terms of the science, some pretty amazing clinical science on berberine in terms of our blood sugar metabolism, in terms of insulin metabolism. So the perfect 1-2 punch in terms of those issues on a natural basis are cinnamon bark extract and our berberine product.
Andrew, there was, I noticed yesterday a huge amount of activity outside. I saw that there's obviously some kind of expansion planned. Is that correct?
Well, we've expanded our production space in here so much that we've lost warehouse space. And we need warehouse space, obviously, to bring in our packaging and to exit our products. So that's a lot that was next door to us. And now you're going to see time lapse where my buddy Matt Ryba, TWC Construction, that's our construction company, actually.
Wow.
That's the building being built over, I think this was done over just a matter of weeks. I think this is probably maybe 6 weeks, if that. And there's as it stands right now.
Huge.
So we're going to be putting the windows in, and the roof is on, but we have to complete the roof and things. But it's going to initially function for us as a large warehouse. So this is where we'll really be doing most of the work of production. And next door, because empty bottles take up huge amounts of space, and finished product before we ship it to HSN takes up space. So we'll be busy producing products here. And again, whether it's building that building or everyone who spends their days here working here. I guess it was Thanksgiving a week or so ago, but it's us owing an enormous thank you to you that the investment I've made here in growing this company and making our products, the only reason that has any relevance that we create the jobs that at our annual holiday party the other day, everybody kept thanking me. And it's not, everybody shouldn't be thanking me, everybody should be thanking you. Because our company only exists because our products are desirable to you and that you support us. So, so from me to you, that's a major thank you. Building that building and investing in our community and investing in creating jobs in America, that's something that not many companies have chosen to do. I've said this before, I could manufacture my products for much less if I went to Mexico or I went to Asia, but the only place I want to be making products is right here in America, and investing in our community, investing jobs right here.
Well, on that note, we're going to head over to our next item for just a few moments.
And no, I'm not running for public office. That's usually what I
This message is endorsed by Mr. Lessman.
No, I just love what I do too much that I'd never, as much as I would love to do public service, I figure what I do here is my version of public service. And politics is not.
But you know why? It's the honesty. People see you as you are, which is, and folks, for those wondering, Andrew is the same off camera as he is on camera. He is a man of great, not only credibility, but authenticity. And you are very genuine and authentic in what you do.
Well, that's very nice. As I've said, I would never be a talented actor. So with me, it's kind of what you see is what you get. So, and fortunately, when we're doing this is what I do best. This is what I know best. So this is
You
me.
never thought you would be on TV, though. You never imagined you'd be stuck here.
When I originally went to QVC 27 years ago, and it was the then EVP of merchandising at QVC, who eventually became their CEO and chairman. And I said, and they decided they wanted to do my products, and I said, well, now let's find a celebrity to go on air. And he said, well, if you want your products on air, you're the only person going on air. And I insisted I do not do that. I make my products. My role is science. I'm not someone who goes on television. And his name is Doug Briggs. And thank goodness for Doug Briggs, because if Doug Briggs had not insisted that I do that, I would never have found what I think is really what I should be doing in life.
Well, it's real. It's the real thing. There's so much hype in the world today, and you can see. I mean, a lot of us now we wake up to it day and night, and it feels artificial. I think we're fed up of it. You know what I mean?
I think. And I was just talking about this earlier as I was driving over here. I think our society, if just education became more available to all of us, no matter what standard of living we had, no matter where we find ourselves, that changes everything. So I think to the extent my little world here is health, that as long as I educate and inform, I at least take that little part of our life that pertains to health, and I empower us to make good decisions. As I always say, and Lincoln knows this show's about to end. He's uncanny. But I always say that the most important thing I provide isn't my products. It's not important to get my products. It's important to get information that pertains to your health. And to the extent I provide objective, reliable information for your health, then these shows are important, relevant, and empowering. And I encourage everyone, we talk about the internet as being a two-edged sword. There is a great volume of wonderful, inspiring inspiring information you could find on the internet in terms of being healthier. Hopefully not in terms of frightening us when you start researching all sorts of diseases, but hopefully in terms of making good, healthy decisions.
And I do encourage you to check out Andrew's blog, wordsonwellness.com. It's another wonderful way in which you can connect with Andrew on a monthly basis. I know there's only, what, 12 minutes left or 30 minutes left?
Just wanted to touch on this quickly, the ALA 400. This is our new high-potency alpha-lipoic acid. Alpha-lipoic acid is often referred to as the universal antioxidant. Most antioxidants, most of the systems in our body and molecules in our body have to make a choice whether they're going to work or operate in an aqueous, water-based environment or a fat-based, a lipid-based environment. Alpha-lipoic acid doesn't have to choose because it functions effectively in both. That's why it's referred to as being the universal antioxidant. I followed our discussion of cinnamon and berberine with alpha-lipoic acid because, again, it's one of those ingredients that really has, over the years, been viewed as targeting and supporting healthy blood sugar metabolism and healthy insulin metabolism. So it goes hand in hand with those, and it's something that, like CoQ10, I've been taking for over 30 years.
And if you are watching and you think, I need more information on what Andrew just said, we encourage you to go online at hsn.com. There is a tremendous number of products that maybe you don't even realize exist in Andrew's assortment. So if you go to hsn.com and type in vitamins, it's going to take you to Andrew's specialty store, and from there you can see everything that we have. Well, for Andrew's final show of the year, we're going to continue on.
Yes. We'll be back in January, but a little later in January. We'll be back, I think, the middle of January.
And is that from here or from Tampa?
It will be from St. Pete. So we'll be in St. Pete in January for just a couple of quick days, and then we're probably going to do a special show in February, I think.
Okay.
And then we're not back, then we're April, July, we're every 3 months after that, October.
So let's talk about bones and skeleton. Where would we be without them, Andrew?
Well, it's very funny. Most of us, when we think of bones and skeleton, we immediately think of calcium, magnesium. Yes, absolutely critically important, but regardless of whether you're getting calcium from a supplement, which my calcium intensive care or calcium magnesium intensive care, or whether you're getting all the calcium you need from your diet, there is an ingredient that is absolutely essential to how your body manages calcium. And mind you, as we get older, calcification becomes an issue, whether it's calcification of our arteries, whether it's calcifications of other soft tissues in our body. It's an undesirable process. Vitamin K2 MK7 is something that is specifically designed and intended to manage calcium in your body such that the calcium stays where it's supposed to stay. It stays in your bones because it stimulates the process in your bones for retention and maintenance of that calcium. And it also ensures that, I say it acts like a traffic cop, it ensures that that calcium doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. So it gets directed to where it's supposed to stay, and it gets directed away from where it's not supposed to go. And there's research just on vitamin K2 MK7 showing that those taking vitamin K27 retain more flexible and resilient arteries. And again, because less flexible and resilient arteries are usually partly as a result of calcification as we get older. So I view vitamin K2 MK7, it's something I've talked about for about a decade. It's starting to get, just sort of as I talked about CoQ10 for a decade or so before there was any real groundswell of other interest. It's started to get interest and picked up. When I first started talking about it, you couldn't find it in a health food store. You couldn't find it in a supermarket or a big box store. It's starting to show up there. I really hope it does, because this is one of those products, regardless of whether you get mine, vitamin K2 MK7. Remember that, K2 MK7. It's something you absolutely, positively don't want to be without.
Andrew, what is, on all the vitamins that we're doing, do they all have a standard shelf life? Do I need to refrigerate any of them?
Every bottle of vitamins we make has a best buy date on it. If it's after that date, they don't become harmful. These are not things that are going to be toxic or harmful. It just will gradually start losing potency. On a product like this, I believe this is at least a 2-year potency.
Oh, great.
So, and again, if you look at the size at 360 capsules, at 1 capsule a day, it will last about a year. And again, because we don't offer products that are a year old, you're getting the benefit of the entire expiration period. So my products are not going, unless you stop using them, they're not going to go bad at your house. And they don't go bad, they just gradually lose potency after that expiration period. But in most cases, they're between 2 and 3 years.
And you can see that, I just noticed it is indeed on the bottom of the bottle, you can see it, the best by date. So feel good about the items that you're purchasing from Andrew, because there is something to be said about knowing it's just been made or it's recently been made. You know, Andrew, you've in some ways cut out that middleman, haven't you? Because you deliver direct.
Well, there is no middleman. I make the product, and it's available at HSN, and I really don't look at myself as being a vendor or an on-air guest at HSN. I look at myself as being part of HSN, and I've always looked at it that way for the last 20 plus years. So essentially, you're getting these products manufactured direct. I mean, you are in the facility. This bottle I'm looking at here, this bottle was filled on that packaging line directly behind me. I was just looking at the expiration date on here. So this is a product this product was made 2 months ago, and this product will expire in 2020. So this is a product that has a 3-year expiration date, but as you can see, everything is again freshly made, and we date that not from the time it was put in the bottle, but from the time we make the capsule. Yeah. So it's something that, and these are soft gel capsules, very small, easy to swallow. You only need, this is our 100 microgram. We have a 50, a 100, and a 200. This is 100 microgram. I'd say the daily dose should be between 100 and 200. 100 is fine, 200 is great. Either one works, and it's again one of those ingredients you hopefully will learn more about. I would do research about vitamin K2, MK7 online, and you just won't want to be without it, frankly.
Let's head over to Ultimate Eye Support, another one which always gets a lot of people talking, a lot of people asking questions. It's hard, I think, Andrew, as we start to age, you start to see and notice things changing in your body, and it's not a nice feeling.
Well, no, aging is horrible. I mean, it's, you know, in terms of, you know, not in terms of vanity or things like that, but we all wish we could be here forever. And aging is a process that has a certain finality to it, and we hopefully postpone that as long as possible. But aging isn't comfortable, and for someone like me, who I thrive on being active, certainly being active, I think, pushes back father time to a certain extent. But aging is something that we need to be cognizant of its consequences, that there are consequences, and they're very specific and they're very easily identified. Certainly when it comes to vision in our eyes, we know what they are, we know why they happen, and that's exactly how this product is designed. This product is designed giving high levels of something that when I first introduced them, no one else was talking about, lutein and zeaxanthin. These are the carotenoids that are the optical pigments in the macular region and the retina of your eye. These optical pigments are involved in protecting the vision, protecting our eyes, protecting those delicate tissues, and also as optical filters, improving the quality of our vision. There's also ingredients in this product for night vision, again, something that tends to deteriorate with age. So this is a product that's simply designed to support one of our 5 senses that most people would say, what do you view as the most important of your 5 senses? Yeah. Most people would say vision. Which one of our 5 senses do we depend on most in terms of the quality of our life? Most would say our vision. So this is a product that's designed to respect how important our vision is to the quality of our life, certainly as we're getting older.
Andrew, we had a question about the capsules that are used and the integrity of the capsules and non-GMO and all that kind of stuff. Right. What do we say? Because I mean, it's interesting. People are concerned with every aspect of it.
The most important thing is I would always choose a capsule over a tablet. Inherently, when you make a tablet, you take these wonderful ingredients, like say, for instance, again, another additive-free product. So this is a small capsule, and the only thing in this capsule, and you'll see it'll look kind of purple with yellow specks. The purple is the bilberry. The purple is the bilberry for night vision. Oh yeah, you could see that. How cool.
Yeah.
Nothing like high definition television.
Wow.
So, and the yellow specks, that's the lutein and zeaxanthin. Those are the granules of lutein and zeaxanthin and the granules of the bilberry extract. But the most important thing to know about, it's just basically it's dosage formulation. When you make a tablet, you take all those wonderful natural ingredients, you compress them like a rock under thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds per square inch of pressure, and you imprison them in that tablet. This product is not imprisoned, it's liberated. That capsule disappears in a matter of moments, and that ultrafine powder goes into solution, and those ingredients are readily available for absorption. A tablet, sometimes when they add their binders that make the tablet stick together and their coatings that make it stick together even better, they have to add other ingredients called disintegrants that basically take on moisture and almost make the tablet on a small basis kind of explode, expand. So it's going to hopefully disintegrate and hopefully liberate those ingredients. I say the moment you coat those ingredients with waxes and glues and make a tablet, you've made a decision to not disrespect or to not respect those ingredients and to disrespect the person who's going to be using that product. The only way to deliver these ingredients and the ingredients that we've been talking about tonight is as a free-flowing powder, either in a jar of flowing powder that you drop in a smoothie, which you could always open this capsule and drop it in a smoothie, in yogurt, whatever you want to choose, in your oatmeal, or in a capsule that you simply swallow, a tiny capsule, no additives, and you enjoy the benefits.
Andrew, especially on this product, seeing what people have had to say regarding their quality of eyesight, the quality of their vision, that is a remarkable thing.
Yeah, the reviews on this product, like so many products, but the reviews on this product are very compelling reviews from changing people's lives, that they're comfortable driving at night again, that their vision has just been a steady decrease in the quality of their vision over the course of their lifetime. I could probably, if I went to the stack of reviews there, I could probably find 30, 40, 50 reviews that speak specifically about feedback from an ophthalmologist or an optometrist or an optician in terms of their being thrilled by the product, surprised by the results, that they're ordering the product themselves, that this is a product that delivers serious science-based benefits to a system in our body that, as important as it is to us, it's absolutely equally well established that it's going to change. Those of us with the healthiest of eyes, with the best genetic gifts, your vision is still going to change as you age, and the opportunity to make a difference requires that we deliver to our body the proper ingredients. Beyond this product, eating those purple berries frequently, great for night vision. Beyond this product, eating kale and spinach and green beans and green peas, incredibly important lutein and zeaxanthin for the health of our eyes. So there are wonderful things we can do without having to invest in this product, but most of us unfortunately don't do that with any kind of consistency or any kind of adequate quantity.
I can't think of a better way or a better product to end the final show of 2017 with Andrew. It is Ultimate Eye Support. It is a phenomenal choice. Andrew, maybe out the door I could ask you this question, because the next time I see you, chances are things will be a little bit different around here. A lot of people have been talking about QVC and things that are perhaps in the works. People are concerned about, will that change the way that you do business and everything else? Anything you can comment on with that?
Well, I would think, I don't think, that's a fascinating question, but I would, what's that old saying, if it's not broke, you don't fix it?
There you go.
That as healthy as my products have been, my business remains healthy. And I think that all the things that you rely on, that I continue making the same products, that will not change, that we continue to answer the phone when you call us and give us all the information and technical feedback, that will not change. So I think, and I had done a video a while ago, that I move through life and I'm sort of the incurable optimist, and so I figure as long as I keep doing my good work, the universe takes care of things for me. So I wouldn't worry if I were you out there. Nothing's going to change. I think QVC would be crazy to change things, because QVC is QVC, HSN is HSN, and they're both very, very unique and different brands. So far be it from me to tell them how to do business, but they're very smart people there, and I think they're going to make great great decisions, and all the interactions that I've had with them have thus far been impeccable. So I'm not worried, and I don't think anybody else should be worried.
We'll just be one big family. That's what's
Yes.
exciting.
Yep.
So I think we have some more. Look, Marcel's back.
Marcel's got a treat. Come here, Link. Come here, bud.
The whole family's here now,
So
you
this
see.
is Marcel, who's 6 months old. This is Link, who's 9.5 years old. Marcel, on one hand, Link loves him. On the other hand, like all of us, he's occasionally annoyed by him. So here they go. They're going to start playing. So they are, as I work too much, but they always keep me company. So as you can see, Marcel.
Like an older brother
Yes,
situation.
you crazy
going on.
guys.
Oh,
no,
my
they're the
goodness.
best. We all, and next year, hopefully, if I could find the time, I'm into all our product development activities, we will develop pet vitamins. We will use the same exact
number of
ingredients,
people,
whether it's
yeah.
a joint product, glucosamine chondroitin, we'll use the same exact ingredients we do use in our human products. What we'll just do is use natural flavors in a fine powder so you can sprinkle it in their food. We'll have an eye product because our dog's eyes, I give Lincoln on probably every other day, I give him half a capsule of Ultimate Eye. Speaking of Ultimate Eye, because our dog's aging process is accelerated versus our own. And so we need to be cognizant. Joints, eyes, cranberry, something else. Friendly Flora, something else. So these are products that I share with my guys. And this year, hopefully, we'll make specialized products that we'll share with you for your favorite family members as well.
Well, from all of us here, the Monday Night Show team, our incredible crew that make this live possible from this amazing facility in Henderson, Nevada, Andrew, we want to say happy holidays to
Well,
you.
happy holidays to everyone. How amazing that HSN could pull this off. It's as smooth or smoother than shows in St. Petersburg. So wonderful, happy, healthy holidays. And I'll see everyone in 2018.
From all of us here, stay watching. You know,